Intel integrated graphics, the bane of any PC gamer. It's hated, deplored, despised by those of us who game, yet it is still the main graphics card for the majority of PC users. It's extremely important to accept its existence. Intel's been improving upon its integrated graphics since they debuted so many years ago, with the ever-popular HD 2000, 3000, and 4000 series moving on to the powerful Iris, and now here we are in 2019 with the UHD 620. The name implies it'll handle 4K resolution, which is true for anything but gaming. This super popular GPU, or some variant of it, is found in pretty much any consumer PC released since 2017. We have it today as part of an i5-8250U, and we'll be benchmarking it in modern games. You'll be surprised by the results. Starting off with our system specs today, we have an Acer Aspire E15576 blah 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 blah. Okay, it's a media laptop, and it comes with an MX150 dedicated GPU, which you'll see more of in a later video, but today we'll be focusing on the UHD 620 integrated graphics. I've installed 16 gigs of RAM in dual channel for maximum performance. There is also no overclocking to be done in this GPU, which is unfortunate, so the most we can do is set it to maximum performance within the Intel graphics settings and hope for the best. So let's begin the benchmarks. Let's start with the infinitely popular GTA games, with GTA 4 up first. It ran at a barely playable frame rate of 30, with small stutters and frame drops every so often. 720p lowest settings with decent view distance and vehicle density allowed this result. Do note that, as usual, the recorded footage you see is not directly representative of real-world gameplay. Moving on, GTA 5, no matter how much it tried, could not average 30 FPS, and it settled in just below at 26 FPS average. If you wanted to lower the resolution from 720p lowest to 640p or even 800 by 600, you might get better frame rates, but you'd sacrifice your game looking at like a postage stamp. CSGO was a lot better, running impeccably at 720p low settings at 78 FPS average and a few drops when my character died. There have been a few major stutters, but only when one team had won. Sorry about my absolutely terrible skills too. BioShock Infinite ran almost just as well, averaging 63 FPS average at 720p lowest, and upping the resolution to 1080p still allowed for a playable 35 FPS average. And finally, our most demanding game today, The Witcher 3 averaged 15 FPS average at 720p lowest, which is basically unplayable, the only game that this thing can't run. One thing to look out for if you're getting a laptop is thermal throttling. You could see that in the benchmark videos, the processor was easily maxing out at 95 degrees Celsius, almost boiling hot. It's not good for longevity, and it definitely causes some throttling, which is not ideal and definitely hurts frame rates over long periods. Also, since the UHD 620 and the i5 are on the same CPU die, they must share the same 15-watt TDP, and so if the GPU part is at max power, don't expect the CPU to have enough power left over to run at maximum frequencies. As you could tell by the benchmarks, games ran excellently on the UHD 620, with almost every game managing playable frame rates at 720p low, and some even running at 1080p. Considering how the PC community treats the UHD 620, it's surprisingly underrated GPU. If you're buying a new laptop with just UHD graphics, and you don't plan to be doing any hard gaming, or you're okay with sub 30 frames per second, then definitely go ahead. We are finally entering an age where dedicated graphics are no longer a requirement for gaming, especially with AMD APUs like we've seen in the past. Here's to the future of gaming on integrated graphics. Thanks for watching.